Hey Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, we're going to be talking about Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein is, as Paige Christie is putting it, Ethan Klein is having his Gabbie Hanna arc right now. I don't quite know or understand what's going on with Ethan Klein, but I thought we should talk about it together. If you want to hear more about that drama, make sure that you keep on watching. Okay, before we even get started, this is the third video I'm filming in a row right now. I've been talking for like 40 minutes straight at this point. So if I'm like getting a little tongue-tied and stuff, I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try to make sure I take my time with this, to speak slowly, to articulate well. But once I've been talking for a long time, I feel like my words start to slur together, very Trisha Paytas, and I feel like I stumble over words or stutter. And so I'm gonna really try to get through this video and make sure that I sound audible in this, because it's my third video I'm filming. I'm trying to get a bunch of videos filmed before work today. And that's the vibe right now. So do you guys understand what I mean by that though, when you're talking for a long period of time? And I have like a little like something to wet my whistle here, but at the same time I just feel like when you're talking for such a long time, like on and on and on, you guys know I talk a lot, okay? That it's just like, oh my God, like I'm gonna take my time with this. Okay, so Ethan Klein. We all know that Ethan Klein is somebody who is not afraid to give his political opinion on things. And we also know that Ethan Klein is he's a liberal person. I am a liberal as well. I think that the core message of a lot of what Ethan Klein has to say, I do agree with. However, I do think that Ethan takes things to kind of an extreme that is inappropriate. You guys are probably very well aware if you live in America, and I think, or if you keep up with social media, because even if you don't live in America, I feel like a lot of people heard about what happened in Uvalde, Texas with the school shooting. Super, super tragic. A lot of people lost their lives that day. And, you know, naturally in America, because this is the way that things work here, we make everything about politics. We really, really do. I think that this does have a lot to do politically, which I'm not going to get into my political views on this. They might kind of come out a little bit, but the point of this video is not to get political. It's to talk about Ethan Klein. A lot of this stuff that's going on right now, a lot of people are putting on the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. I live in Texas, so he's the governor of the state I live in, and also our Senator Ted Cruz. Governor Abbott and Senator Ted Cruz are really, really people that are not very well respected in Texas right now by a lot of people, conservatives and liberals alike. And that's because Ted Cruz has done some things. When we experienced our big freeze we had in 2021, where we lost power, like almost the entire state lost power, and we were at freezing temperatures, and our power grid just couldn't hold up with the weather that we were experiencing. This was really, really rare weather for Texas to have, and our electricity, with all of that set up, couldn't handle it. And Ted Cruz decided to leave the country and go to Cancun instead of riding out the storm with his fellow Texans. So a lot of people really did not like that. And then Governor Greg Abbott has just done a lot of things that a lot of Texans, conservatives and liberals alike, are not fans of. And so that, as well as just like things all the liberals are upset with right now in regards to women's rights and in regards to LGBTQ plus rights, there's just a lot of things that people just aren't really fond of our governor or our senator with right now. Ethan Klein does not live in Texas, but just because you don't live here does not mean that you can't have a political opinion about what's going on in our state, especially if something like a huge tragedy that has been worldwide news is going on right now. So where I think Ethan Klein took this not even a little too far, way too far, is that Ethan Klein decided to make some really, Miss Kitty, Miss Kitty is rustling. I'm sorry. Really off the mark comments about Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz, and just in general with conservatives. So in a really poor taste, I will have to say this, the NRA convention was held in Houston, Texas, literally the day after this incident in Uvalde happened. And it was planned obviously before this incident, this tragedy occurred, right? But it really was in very poor taste for them to continue to hold this convention. Ethan Klein had a lot to say about that. He ended up going on to the H3H3, I think it was Off the Rails podcast, and he was saying a lot of stuff. Now, he was saying things that he wanted people to go to the convention center and launch things down on the convention center that explode, if you catch my drift, to injure and or unalive a lot of the people attending the convention. He really went off the rails, if you kind of catch my drift on that. And here's the thing about that. I absolutely think it was in horrible taste for them to hold that convention still after what just happened in Uvalde. I think that I absolutely abhor and hate Governor Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, who was at the NRA convention. Am I gonna say that I think that you should send things down onto the building that the convention's held at that explode? No, I'm not gonna say that. You know why? Because that's awful. I don't wish what would happen to those people if that, I'm dancing around it, you guys, because I'm on YouTube and I have to, but what would happen if they launched things down onto that building that explode? I don't want that to happen to anybody, okay? And I think that no matter how you feel about the situation in regards to guns and your rights to bear arms and the types of guns that you can own and all of the whole political thing that goes into that, you guys, regardless of how you feel about that, I think we can all agree that the fact that all of these children lost their lives is awful, but that we don't want to see people not alive. And how does that make you any better than the people that went in there and did the gun violence? How does it make you any better when you're saying that you want to have things launch on the building and all this stuff? And he just went off the rails I don't know another way to say that. He went off, and he ended up getting that episode of the H3H3 podcast taken off. It got banned from YouTube, and he got suspended for a week on YouTube. The episode, okay, I did not say that right. The episode got removed from YouTube, and he ended up getting banned for a week, and he could not post for a week on YouTube because of that. And honestly, in this case, rightfully so. In this case, if he was on TV or on YouTube and saying all that stuff, good for people for reporting that, because that is absolutely awful. And you cannot say that. You cannot say that as such a huge, powerful influencer, social media person, that so many people look up to you. You have these crazy hardcore fans out there, and you're saying that kind of stuff. Well, one of them might mess around and do it because their king told them to. You have to be a little bit more aware than that. And then his fans and all the people on his side are gonna be like, it was a joke, take it as a joke. Well, I'm so sorry, but when it comes to people's lives, it's not a joke, dude. It's not a joke. You can't act like that. Listen, it's one thing to have your views on something and to share it amongst close friends. And if you didn't mean it as a serious thing, to say it amongst your friends, and that's it. You said it to millions of people on the internet that adore you, that worship you. And that's serious, because you were talking about harming other people in that. And it's very, very serious. Like, you can't do that, dude. You can't do that. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. And I understand that your political views on this are very extreme, and to be honest, you're very passionate about your beliefs in this. And to be honest, the core of what he's preaching, the very core of what he's preaching, I understand, and I'm with you on that, Ethan. But you are taking it to an extreme that is inappropriate and not okay to post online to your millions of people out there. You can't do that, dude. You can't do that. And you know what? You can't cry because you were banned from YouTube for a week because of this one. You really, really can't. You did it to yourself with this one. You really did it to yourself. Now, Keemstar, we all know Keemstar and Ethan have this this hate, that they do not get along. And Keemstar has decided to milk this and use this as further fuel for him to try and get Ethan banned off YouTube permanently. And I don't wish anybody to get banned. Well, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 people I think should be banned off YouTube permanently. I don't know if Ethan's one of the people that I think should be banned permanently. But I think that Keemstar will do anything to try and get Ethan taken off of YouTube. In this case, if Ethan were to have been banned off YouTube permanently because of those remarks, I think that he would have done it to himself. I really honestly do. I really honestly do. It's not okay. It's not right. You gotta watch what you say, my guy. You gotta watch what you say. You can share your political views and you can say what you believe without taking it to an extreme and without getting so, I don't know if it's emotionally invested, because he seems like he's very emotionally invested in this, but being so emotionally invested that you're wishing other people harm because they're the political back behind what's going on. Like, I don't know. I don't wish anybody harm. And it's just not a good move when you're as influential as Ethan Klein is. It's not a good move to say those very, very extreme political statements. It's just not a good look. You can get your point of view across. You can be an advocate for whatever you want to be an advocate for. You can be an advocate without, taking it to the extreme that Ethan Klein did. And I think it makes me kind of wonder, like, what is going through this guy's mind? Because you have to know, you have to be able to differentiate like the two, like what's okay to say and what's not. Especially someone who knows the power they have on social media and that they can say anything. It doesn't matter how soon they delete it afterward, but a lot of people are going to see it and it's going to come out. And he didn't even delete all the stuff that he put on Twitter. It's just like, it makes me just kind of question what's going on. Paige Christie says he's going through his Gabbie Hanna arc right now. We'll see what happens with this. I don't know. I feel like he's just very passionate politically about this subject. I don't think that he's doing this for clicks and views. He clearly got the episode taken down off the internet. I don't think he's doing it for clout or for attention. I think he just feels very strongly about this issue, and that's great. You should feel very, like I said, the core message, what he's saying about us, regulating a little bit more the use of guns and stuff, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think it should be, and I'm not going to get super into this, but I'll say this statement. I don't think it should be as easy for us to obtain weapons in the United States. I don't think it should be. I think it should be a little bit more difficult. I think you should have to go through more psychological tests and all that kind of stuff. And be of a certain age, and I think it should be a little bit more restricted, to be honest with you. It's just, I would never ever say that I think that people should go to a convention center and launch things on top of the convention center that explode. I would never ever say that. It's just not good. It's just not good at all. And on this one, Ethan, I have to say that the backlash you're getting from people is kind of warranted. You need to reel it in, my guy. You need to reel it in and fight for your beliefs and stuff, but reel it in, because you're hurting yourself right now. You've been hurting yourself with you've been losing your audience in a lot of ways lately with your comments about the LGBTQ plus community. And then you're losing people because of this, because you're quite literally, again, I know I've said it a million times in this video, quite literally off the rails, my guy. You need to reel it in. So this isn't a hate video towards Ethan Klein. It's not. But something's going on up there. And the fact that Hila, however you say her name, the fact that she didn't stop him, and that nobody really really stopped him. They edit these things before they put them up. Why? I don't know. I feel like the whole thing was in poor taste. All of them need to take a step back and think about everything a little bit, because you can't just wish people harm like that. That makes you just as bad as the people that are the ones that cause these tragedies. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. I know this is kind of a controversial video. I tried to keep it as non-political as possible, and as neutral as possible. But yeah, that's my thoughts on all that. So Ethan, I hope you get it together, my guy, because if you don't, you're gonna end up losing your channel, and that would not be good. So anyway, let me know what you think about all this drama in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. And that's gonna be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember, all Shelby bells ring the bell. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple more down here for you to choose from, so I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.